The movie starts with a girl named Bea who walks into the cafe and asks the waitress to let her use the restroom, but the waitress tells her the restroom is for cafe customers only. Bea needs to buy something at the cafe to become a customer and then she can use the restroom, but she finds the place to pay for what she bought. A lot of customers. Bea begs the waitress to let her go to the restroom and she'll pay for what she bought right after she comes out. But the waitress ignores her words and suddenly, a man named Ben sees what's happening, then talks to Bea in front of the waitress and pretends to be her husband, saying his wife has the right to use the restroom because he bought a drink. The waitress is forced to let Bea use the restroom and Bea thanks Ben and quickly goes into the bathroom, and after she comes out, Ben invites Bea to have a drink with him, and it seems Bea thanks him again and leaves. But Ben notices napkins stuck in Bea's shoes and calls out to alert her before she leaves, but he's surprised when she tells him she doesn't mind going out with him. Ben is surprised by Bea's boldness and her quick desire to get to know him and decides to accept her request so as not to embarrass her. Then they go together to many places and happiness fills their hearts. Then they decide to have dinner together at Belle's and the next morning, Bea wakes up from sleep and then decides to leave Ben's apartment without telling him or disturbing him. Ben suddenly wakes up and is very upset when he notices Bea's departure, who calls her sister Ollie and tells her what happened with her, where she says she met a handsome man and became a fan of him, but didn't tell him her name, and also tells her she was happy with him. Bea's sister advises Bea to return to Ben's apartment and spend the rest of the day with him. Bea follows her sister Ollie's advice and returns to Ben's apartment, but is shocked when she hears Ben talking about her to his friend and says that Bea is a boring girl and he's relieved. Now, after getting rid of her, Bea leaves the place sad after hearing Ben's words that broke her heart, and 6 months later, we see Ben with his friend Peter in a nightclub. Ben meets Peter's sister named Claudia, who came with Ollie, who is Bea's sister, as mentioned at the beginning of the movie. And it turns out Bea is also at the nightclub, and she's surprised when she sees Ben in front of her. And it seems Holly realizes that Ben is the same man Bea told her about 6 months ago. Yowzin, Bea is obviously angry with Ben because she hasn't forgotten what he said about her. Bea tries to stir up anger against Ben when she tells him she's engaged to another man, but Ben mocks her and asks about the lucky guy who wants to marry her. But Bea ignores his words, and after a whole year, Bea goes to Australia for a summer vacation with her family and Claudia's family. But she's sad because she broke up with her fiancé John and dropped out of law school. Recall, you, gentlemen, the viewers, that John is Bea's fiancé, with whom she got engaged 6 months after meeting Ben by chance at the cafe, as we saw at the beginning of the movie's events. And so John is her fiancé, whom she broke up with a year later, and Ben is the person she met at the cafe 6 months ago and met again at the nightclub 6 months later. We return to Bea, who meets Ben for the 3rd time, but this time on the plane, because her friend Claudia's sister also invited her to spend the summer vacation with them in Australia, but she didn't tell Bea that he was coming with them. And it seems that Ben is trying, as usual, to tease Bea, who doesn't seem to want to argue with him and asks him to stay away from her. The two arrive in Australia and are greeted by Peter, who takes her home and meets Claudia and Ollie, so's Eos, then they go to the beach. Ben meets Claudia's cousin named Marie, who was his ex-girlfriend whom he met when he came for a summer vacation in Australia last year, and Ben seems happy to meet Marie because he still loves her. Marie surprises Ben when she introduces him to her new lover, and Ben seems frustrated but tries to hide his feelings for his dignity. We return to Bea, who meets her parents, who try to comfort her because she broke up with her fiancé John. And it's clear that Bea is lying to them by saying she's fine, but the truth is she's living the worst days of her life. At night, everyone is at a party enjoying their time together, unlike Ben and Bee, who are fighting as usual and cause a big fire that ruins the party. And after the party ends, Bee's family members and Claudia's family members feel that the tense relationship between Ben and Bee could ruin the summer vacation. Peter's mother tells everyone that what's happening between Bee and Ben shows that they love each other and suggests they should let them spend time alone so they can get closer to each other. And the next day, Peter's mother asks Ben and Bee to go to the boat to get her glasses because she forgot them on the boat. But Ben and Bee think that Peter's mother is trying to get them away so they don't ruin the summer vacation. Ben and Bee swim to the boat, but Ben has a fear of seawater, though Bee quickly pulls him along. On the boat, Bee is surprised by her ex-boyfriend John, and is upset because she knows John didn't come willingly, as his parents pressured him to spend summer with her. She suggests to Ben that they pretend to be a couple. Bee's plan is to get rid of John because she doesn't want him in her life. He tells Ben he can make Marie jealous to get her back, but Ben denies being upset about Marie's new relationship. Bee assures him she noticed his looks at her on the beach, and Ben admits he still loves Marie and agrees to Bee's plan. They go home and start pretending they're in love. Claudia invites them on a mountain trip, and Ben and Bee keep pretending they're in love. Ben is surprised by a spider in his clothes and has to take them off, but everyone is busy with the koala. Bee tells her parents she loves Ben because he helped her forget John, and asks them not to worry, as she's found the love of her life. At night, everyone goes on a yacht trip, and Ben and Bee dance to show they're having fun, then stand at the yacht's end to reenact a Titanic scene. Everyone is happy about Ben and Bee, except Marie and John, who are jealous. They all leave to let Ben and Bee enjoy their time, but Bee loses her balance and falls into the sea, and Ben jumps in to save her, despite his fear of seawater. Bee admires what Ben did for her. Everyone on the yacht sees Bee and Ben by the life buoy and calls for help. Bee tells Ben she left law school without her family's knowledge and fears their reaction, as they want her to be a lawyer like them, and it's clear she's unable to plan her future. Ben comforts Bee, reminding her she said she didn't want to be a lawyer at his apartment, and asks her to choose what she loves. He reminds her of the day at his apartment and says he was sad she left without saying goodbye. Ben apologizes to Bee for what he said about her to his friend Peter. He assures her he was angry she left so quickly because he got attached, and Bee seems happy with Ben's words. Then she sees the opera house in front of her and tells him she loves going to the opera when she's sad because it makes her feel comfortable. The rescue plane arrives to take Ben and Bea to land, but Ben feels nervous because he's afraid of heights. Bea sings him a song he loves to hear to calm his nerves, and it seems Ben finally relaxes, then sings with Bea, who was overjoyed. After returning home, Ben prepares the same meal that Bea had with him when she was at his apartment. Ben and Bea enjoy their time so much that they spend the rest of the night together in Bea's room. But Bea suddenly wakes up from sleep and finds that Ben is not next to her and is upset that he left without talking to her or saying goodbye. And the next day, Ben meets Peter, who asks him if he's comfortable in his relationship with Bea. Ben tells Peter he's not sure if he loves Bea or if he's just sympathetic to her because of her breakup with her fiancé and dropping out of college, but Peter gets upset with him and asks him to set aside his ego and confess his love for Bea. At the same time, Marie meets Bea and asks her about her relationship with Ben. Bea tells her they're just friends, then is surprised when Mary says she still loves Ben and wishes he would come back. She promises not to get close if it would upset her, but Bea is so shocked that she responds to Marie with difficulty and lies, saying she can get close to Ben because she won't be upset with her. Bea's parents found out that their daughter Bea dropped out of college, but Bea thinks it's Ben who told them, and then she gets angry because Ben betrayed her trust and asks him why he told her parents the truth. Ben apologizes to Bea and tells her he told her parents about her dropping out of college unintentionally, but Bea refuses his apology and doesn't want to talk to him anymore. Bea admits to everyone that she pretended to be Ben's girlfriend, who participated with her in the plan, and also says it's impossible to fall in love with a man like Ben. And the next day, Mary invites all the members of both families to a party at her place, then dances with Ben and tells him she realized 2 days ago that she loves him and longs for the return of their past days, then tries to get close to him. Ben apologizes to Mary and tells her that his relationship with her is just memories of the past, and his words indicate he doesn't love her anymore. And it seems Bea is watching the situation from afar and is very upset. Then she leaves the party and walks down the street, overwhelmed with sadness. Then she gets into a taxi and cries her heart out because she realized she had fallen in love with Ben and couldn't imagine he was a deceitful man of knightly rank. We return to Ben, sitting alone at the party, looking lost. Seems sad that Bea hurt his feelings. Peter's mom tells him she knows he loves Bea and admits that Bea left the party because she saw him dancing with Marie. She assures him that Bea's reaction shows she loves him and is jealous, and advises him to catch up with her to confess his love. Ben seems convinced by Peter's mom's words. Ben makes a reckless move by jumping into the sea and pretending to drown, asking everyone to call a rescue plane. It arrives, saves Ben, and he asks the pilot to quickly go to the opera because his beloved is there and he wants to apologize to her for being upset. He realizes Bea went straight to the opera because she told him it's her favorite place. Bea was actually standing in front of the opera house, and then she sees Ben getting off the plane and smiles because she's happy he caught up with her and tells him he's a crazy man. Ben replies saying he's really crazy because he almost lost his love for her, then admits he's madly in love with her. After marathon meetings between them, starting from the cafe, the nightclub, and the plane, they ended their love story in Australia.